Hello everyone! It's been a hot minute since I've uploaded art or streamed. I'm sorry about that. I'll be back to normal around August, I swear. But I have this speed paint for you. I don't really have a story time for this one. This is a redraw of a picture I made when I was 10. I thought I was 11, but when I double checked the video, it said 2010, so I was 10. I drew this because 4th of July is an amazing excuse to draw pools and fireworks. That was my original reasoning as well. I didn't draw it for any American Pride reasons. It's literally just, ooh, fireworks and pool time. So you can see here that I have the old picture up. I drew that when I was 10. These are two original characters I had that are based off of, well, one of them's based off of a Webkins I owned, and I still have her. She's in my room. And the other is just a character I made that is a German Shepherd, and his ears are down like that because I had a German Shepherd growing up, and her ears were always down, so I was copying her ears. I knew that not all German Shepherds did that, but I wanted to. I don't usually record the sketch process, and you'll see here that the reasoning why I don't record anything before colors is I take a stupid amount of time sketching things, especially big pictures like this. And so I do skip the sketch process eventually. Like, I didn't like this sketch, so I just completely redid it off camera. And another reason I don't record the sketching and line art and flat coloring process is just, it takes so long. Look at the timestamp of this video. It's stupid long. But yeah, I didn't like the sketch. So what you're seeing right now, I don't go with the sketch at all. I didn't like it at all. But I kept it in just so people would know, yeah, this is why I don't record sketches. Okay, and we've cut back to the regular sketch, the one that I actually went with, and we're doing this in MS Paint. I cheated a little bit here and there using Clip because I don't know if you've ever sketched in MS Paint with your tablet. It's a nightmare. So I was going to do the sketch in that binary tool that I was using in the previous clip, but Nice taught me how to get rid of sketches that aren't binary on MS Paint, so I went with that. And I was going to just hand line it, but MS Paint and tablet drivers don't go well together, so I just started using the curve tool, which is what I used a lot as a kid when I started drawing. Another main reason for why I made this video is I see a lot of videos on YouTube about like, oh, trying out MS Paint as a art software for beginners, and then they never use Paint the way you're supposed to. Like Windows 7 Paint and further ended up introducing brushes that just get a lot of people confused, especially people who didn't grow up with MS Paint or who don't really watch MS Paint videos. So that big brush tool is what usually stumps people because you'll use it and then you'll try to bucket tool it and it won't fill correctly. And then they just kind of go like, oh, I don't know what that's about. I never see this in videos. It's because no one uses that unless they know how to use it. And I've seen people who know how to use the brush tools. They're amazing. I don't know how to use them though. Another trick for MS Paint is doing the line art in 2 different colors like this, so that way you can erase things. Very easy, very beginner level. haven't done a full piece in MS Paint like this in over a year. I did one for a Love Live MS Paint design that didn't end up coming out, and I used a different technique. I went lineless for that. I didn't go lineless for this because I wanted lines. So this was slightly trickier than the MS Paint one. The MS Paint one had a simple background as well, but I didn't have to use the spray tool that much. You'll see me when I start using the spray tool. I go a little nuts with it. I freehanded the frills. I didn't use the curve tool for those. Oh, something Windows 7 Paint and like the Windows 10 has it too. Something they have that would have been really helpful growing up on fucking Windows Vista Paint is when you do the curve lines, you can actually adjust it after you finish the curve. Oh my god, that actually helped me a lot in this. It's unbelievable how easy that is. When I was a kid, you really did just have to keep undoing your curve if you didn't like it. Again, another color here. That way I can erase the black underneath it. I don't know why I erased the black just regularly instead of using the right click trick. Maybe I tried and it didn't work. I don't remember. Oh my god, I hate the feet. Oh my god. I'm not a foot person. Don't fucking accuse me of that. And I think you can tell because I cannot draw feet. I hate drawing feet. This is the most I've drawn them in a very long time. I have an OC who used to be like, she used to wear sandals, and I literally changed it to where she's wearing socks with them simply because I didn't want to draw the toes. The toes, I laugh at them every time because they look like shit. I haven't even talked about the characters. The girl character, like I said, she was based off of a webkins I have. She was a Irish setter, I believe, and her name is Ginger. Her full name, 10-year-old me gave her, was Ginger Snapples. I think I tried to change it to Ginger Jones at one point, but I didn't like that. She's Ginger Snapples. She's a teenager. And the boy here, Mark Kensington, I believe is his name. German Shepherd, because I had that German Shepherd growing up. And he wasn't based off a webkins. I didn't have a German Shepherd webkins. I know they exist. I just didn't have one. He's also a teenager. I made him trans. While I was drawing him, I was like, I think some top surgery scars would be kind of a sweet add-on to him. Because this relationship was painfully straight. I was 10, I didn't quite know about, like, gay shit. I think it was, like, maybe, I think I was, like, 9 when I started this story, actually. So, like, I didn't learn about gay shit until about 4th grade. This story was, like, looking back on it, it's, like, not even a good story. It was literally, the plot was, they are animals that turned into humans, and because of a curse, and now they have to go to a high school, like regular teenagers, but they go to a high school that's only for animals turned human. And then also, it was Glee. It was Glee before I knew what Glee was. I wanted to make it a series, like an animated series, but holy shit, I'm not good at animating. I don't have the patience for animating, and I never have had the patience for animating. So I don't actually remember a lot of the story. I didn't write it down. I just remember these two were a thing. I think Mark was like anxious or something. I have some silly pictures that I can still recover. I deleted my old DeviantArts, and I heavily regret it because there's a lot of art on them that I don't have anymore. And a lot of the art from this story in specific is gone, and I don't remember if I uploaded it to DeviantArt or not, but I do know it's... I did upload it to DeviantArt. That's right. Yeah, they're gone. Because I was... I think I was like 12 when I deleted my DeviantArts. I didn't know how to store things, so I just straight up deactivated my accounts. You can still log into deactivated accounts, but like they've been deactivated for so long I cannot reactivate them. The reactivation period is like a month, and I just didn't think of it until like 2 years later. But yeah, top surgery scars. I'm adding LGBT shit into this. Good at drawing people like with their legs forward sitting down like this. I think I did pretty well, but like I could have done a bit better with the perspective. I went a little slack on it because I knew that I was doing it in paint, so it didn't matter too much. Oh, I hate these toes. Fun fact, I have an Inktober piece. This was like the year before Inktober shit happened. I don't do Inktober anymore. But I had an Inktober piece where I drew Byleth and Lenhart from Three Houses fishing, and so like they had their feet in the water. And I drew such ugly feet I had to white it out and draw over it. But then on the back of the paper you could see the ugly feet. I hate drawing feet. I don't do it. I can draw, the best thing I can draw is feet silhouettes. I don't like drawing shoes, I don't like drawing bare feet. I can draw silhouettes. So like, if they're wearing socks, I'm set. Oh, here I was, the like, blacking in and out, that was, I was trying to color the individual little dots with the fill bucket tool, and, very finicky thing that bucket tool is. And you'll see me go in through this like with the pencil tool, the right tool to use if you're using paint the way I am, and going in and just making it a little sharper. I was very meticulous about my lines. When I use straight lines, I use straight lines. I need them to be straight. I will sit there for a stupid amount of time making sure they're straight. I didn't do the water here. Okay, so this is the method to get the sketch away, and it works perfectly, as you can see. I didn't do the water here because I'm going to do the water in clip. I'm sorry for not doing everything in paint, but I wanted to save myself a lot of hassle. I colored her eyes green here on accident. I don't know why I forgot that she wasn't the green-eyed one. Here I'm also just like putting down base colors, not really caring too much. I'm copying the colors from the original and modifying them just a little bit and then putting them down. So, but I do end up adjusting them in clip. You'll see I'm adjusting them here too. using the good old second color eraser method, which I wanted to use for shading, but I ended up not being able to because this paint sucks and you have to do it basically on the original thing or else it won't work anymore. So that like put a dent in how I ended up coloring, because you'll notice I'm putting freckles down right now, and because of the eraser tool method, I was like, yes, I'll put the freckles down now instead of later. But then when I realized I couldn't do that, the freckles actually got in my way. She didn't have freckles in the original picture, which I don't understand because she always had freckles. This is not something I added. She has always had freckles. Coloring her nails. I don't do colored nails in art a lot because I don't like... That's a lie, I do like drawing nails, but sometimes I think the nails look weird, so I just erase them. Oh my god, I had so many issues also when it came to the shading. I left it in. There's like text that ends up popping up, so I'll like talk about it then, but holy shit, this picture gave me problems. Ah, there's the spray can tool. There I go. I wouldn't have done that also, like right there, if I knew that the eraser tool method wasn't gonna work. That's how you do layering, by the way. You want to copy it, make the second color the color that you want to be erased, and then paste it over. I left in some bits where you can't see it, but I'm like fucking with the color adjuster. I hate the paint color adjuster so much. It gives me so many problems, and you'll see it later too, specifically during shading. I'm not good at mixing colors in paint. That was one of my biggest problems, so all my characters back then just had like default paint colors. Like the ones that you could get from the default bar, or like when you go to the custom colors, the extra custom colors that there are. Fireworks. I'm not good at drawing fireworks. In the original picture, I actually Googled pictures of fireworks and then just pasted them on. So here I'm trying to actually draw the fireworks. I kind of regret drawing the fireworks at this stage. I end up doing a background thing later that makes the fireworks a little bit of an issue. Same with the moon. Cut to after I've adjusted colors in Clip. You'll notice I made the colors slightly different, and I darkened everything to make it look like it's nighttime. And I did not like this original shading color for her. Again, mixing in paint is not my forte. So I do go back over it. And this is after I've realized, oh shit, the eraser tool isn't working. I have to draw in all of the shading myself. I forgot to bring it up also when I was doing the lines. In the sketch you'll notice that little necklace that she's wearing wasn't there. I forgot it. But the necklace is like a real life bracelet I had that I put around the Webkin's neck. And it was Gur from Invader Zim. And it had like a little ice cream coat on it, and it was a rubber bracelet. And I can't find pictures of it anywhere. I tried looking for it when I was drawing it, and I just couldn't find it. And I can't seem to find it in real life. Like, either it got taken off and moved somewhere, or I just don't have it. I think I could have done better with the shading on the legs. I didn't feel like looking up references. I forgot to color her toenails there. Tool here and there for the shading as well, just so I don't have to freehand it, because again, tablet drivers don't work the same in Paint as they do in other programs. And here I am changing the shading color. And again, I was trying to use the eraser tool, but I don't know what happened. Oh, the eraser tool is also so finicky. Like, it was only changing the color of, like, the fill bucket. So, like, not the lines that I did with the pencil. So I actually had to go in and just fill it manually. And you'll notice the custom colors at the top just, like, slowly grow as I'm trying to finesse it. I'm so bad at mixing colors in paint. Oh, here's the text box notes. Yeah, so I like lost a lot of recording because every time my tablet would unplug, it would freeze paint and I'd have to reopen it, and I didn't realize that that wasn't picking up on OBS. So I only noticed after I had finished doing her skin. So I explained a bit there how I use the spray can again, and you'll end up seeing it when I do Mark, because that was the last of those problems. I don't usually do eye shines. I did them here just to add a bit to it because it's so flat. Eye sparkles, I did use the spray can originally, and then I just started putting dots in manually. Something I didn't end up doing that I had meant to, but I just couldn't figure out how to work it in paint, is I was going to add like curls to her dog ears, because that's what the Webkinz has, and I forgot. Oh, here I'm using like the curve tool to do the highlights. I don't do that with Mark. I just use the spray can tool on Mark. And then I zoom out all the way because I copied the entire image instead of that section itself. And so I zoom out all the way so I can just paste it on easily. Layers in paint, everyone. You'll notice me forgetting to what my light source is all the time. The light source is like the pool lights. You know how like outdoor pools will have lights in them? That's what the light source is. Can I just say, coloring frills is so easy when you don't have to blend them. I hate blending them so much. Copying with the secondary color being the color that I want erased when I paste over it, and then drawing just over everything and then pasting on it, and then it gets rid of the excess. Oh, I had troubles mixing his skin tone shading. Oh my god. And this one that I end up going with, I end up changing too. I had problems. It's not even funny. I was watching iCarly while drawing this, by the way. So like, I'm just thinking about iCarly while watching it again. Very true to my 10-year-old self, really. Because I've been binging it on Netflix. In specific, the 2 episodes I remember watching while drawing this were the episode where they go to the Dingo channel because the Dingo channel's copying them. And then the episode where Spencer gets a boat. Those are the 2 episodes I remember the most. I haven't finished iCarly quite yet. I have watched the reboot though, or at least some of the, I haven't watched the recent episode, but I watched like the first 3. I like it. I think it's pretty true to its original. I was actually very surprised to how true to the original it was. Ugh, the feet. I hate the feet so much. I'm working on another piece right now where I have to draw bare feet. And I only had to draw it like once, but oh my god, I hated it because it was from an angle that I don't draw bare feet at. And here I am changing the shading color. Final touch-ups on the skin. Oh, something with using your tablet on paint is paint isn't built for using your tablet. So like when I change brush sizes or something like that, I end up like making a mark right under where that selection is. So you'll see me getting rid of like spray cans here and there all the time. Oh, I had trouble with his eyes. I remember like not being able to figure out his eyes. And then I forgot the eye shine. I do add it though. I remembered it like part way through. Oh, here comes the part I remember having the most issues with. It was the ears. Oh my god, because I was doing the copy pasting thing, but I forgot to copy it. So I kept having to redo the gradient on the ears. I was editing this and I was like, oh, that's gonna be so sad to watch. This ear is fine. This ear I had no problems with. It's this ear. Oh, hang on. It's this ear I had problems with. So I put that down, right? And then I put that color on it, put it down. And then I didn't copy it, so I had to redo it. And then I have it. And then I do the hair shines. Watch this. I forgot to copy it after doing the ear. So I have to redo the shading on the ear again. And I don't even notice it right away either. I don't remember what. I remember here I was watching the fucking episode of iCarly where they were fighting Shelby Marks. And I had to tell Jenna that Shelby Marks was not a real person. I had to tell her that that was Victoria Justice. because of the eraser thing. I have to like manually go in and actually erase it because it won't let me just color it all the same color. Here I noticed that the ear got fucked up, so I do it again, right? and then I do the tail, and the ear is. Editing this was so sad. I was watching it and I was like, no, I know what happens here. I remember this happening last night. No. You'll see right there, I checked that to make sure the ear was in place still. Okay. I tried doing a gradient here, I did, but like the spray can only gets so big and oh my god, it's not worth it. Know what I was intending to do with those lines. It didn't work quite right. I should have done the lines first and then the shading, but oh well. I was listening to music at this point. I was not watching iCarly. Because I remember I was listening to the Life is Strange 3 version of Creep by Radiohead. I had issues with the grass too. And that was just me being an idiot. Just a straight up buffoon. Because you'll see I'm doing the gradient like all in one, and then I remember I can't do that. I have to do the gradient in parts. See, I didn't forget the eye shine. Cleaning up the moon area a bit. I tried to do an erase gradient over the moon and the fireworks and it just didn't work. And we're in clip again for me to do the water. I had drawn in the water when I did the color adjusting, but I just didn't bring it over because it would be easier to just do it all in clip. Okay, Okay, you're seeing me do this, like, copy pasting. It's to, like, get rid of, like, the gradient colors. Like, sometimes it's more transparent, you know? Then I tried, like, copying that shading layer and making it bigger and to do the lights, and it didn't work, so I redid the lights. Then here I'm doing a bunch of, like, shading shit, like, multiply layers and shit. Doing the lights under the pool. Here I'm going to do a gradient. I tried doing a gradient in Paint, and it just didn't work. It didn't, gradient right. And now we're back in Paint, and I'm coloring the lines in Paint, because it would be easier to do it in Paint. I had some issues with it, but that's typical coloring in Paint. Again, anytime you see the whole thing get filled up instead of like an area, that's because the fill bucket is very finicky. And I'm just coloring the lines as if I was coloring the lines in Clip. It is slightly easier though when you have a fill bucket that only fills that specific area. Here I forgot to get rid of or block off the path to the side of the pool when I filled it in. That's okay though, it's very easy to fix, but I just wasn't thinking. That I specifically saved for Paint. For after I did. That's the water is the reason why I waited until after I did the clip stuff to color the lines, because I wanted the underwater lines to be a specific color. I changed the skin lines just a little bit, and that's why I was going back over them. Oh, some of these like 1 pixel long lines as well, I just went in with the pencil tool instead of the fill bucket because it would save me a lot more time. The downside to OBS recording is I can't show the color mixing, so it does look a bit odd at times. But yeah, just pay attention. If you paid attention to the custom colors at the top, you will see me having issues making colors. I made it to where it is possible to do it in Paint, even if I went into Clip. Like, the water is possible in Paint itself if you just have the time to do so. I don't have the time or patience, but I wanted it to be very clear that you can do all of this in Paint. This whole picture is possible in Paint. Even the gradient in the background, I just did the gradient wrong. Like, just Google gradients in MS Paint and you will find a tutorial that I have used before. I used it on that Love Life piece that I was talking about earlier. And here I'm signing it, and then I realized it wasn't close enough to the corner, so I had to sign it again. different than storytime videos. I just wanted to talk about my process through this picture. Please support me on Patreon if you can, under Soulheart. I also have Twitter at Soulheart_Spica. And please subscribe. Like and subscribe. I don't like saying that, it feels weird, but like and subscribe. Comment if you want. Tell me how you do your MS Paint techniques, or if you used MS Paint as a child like I did. So thank you for coming. Bye bye.